guys, welcome back to my channel. So today we are doing the August wrap up and September TBR. How are we in September? Genuinely, how? This month I actually read 12 books. I beat last month's score of 10 and I read 12. A round of applause please. Thank you. Yeah, I read 12 books. I'm so pleased with myself. I think I did really well this month. So let's get into what I read this month. Before I do, I'm actually wearing ACOTAR merch. I just accidentally pinned my bra strap there. This is House of Wind book club. Smoke books on the house. I got it from Etsy. I will link the store down below. I think it's so cute. I got like an extra large, so it's quite large. Yes, I'm wearing camel sweatpants. Okay, at least I put on pants. Okay. Anyway, let's get into what I read in August. First, I read King of Wrath by Anna Huang. I was dying to read this series. So this one is Dante and Vivian. You meet Dante a little bit in Twisted Lies. I think he's mentioned in Twisted Hate as well, because the whole painting thing with Josh. So I think he is mentioned there as well. But definitely in Twisted Lies we see Dante properly. So I was interested to see what he was like. That is for sure. I was very interested to see more of his relationship with Christian. So there is a little bit of Christian in this, I won't lie. And I did appreciate those little snippets of Christian. So I rated this book 4 stars. I thoroughly enjoyed it. I love a marriage of convenience trope. Okay, the girlies want a marriage of convenience. I feel like character-wise, Dante is quite similar to Alex. Because he is a very gruff man. He just is like, I don't want anyone in my business. So he's a bit like Christian like that. But it's the way he gets soft for his woman. And he's like, my wife. It's very Alex. Obviously it's very Christian as well. But it was very Alex without the part of it, you know? It feels like it's been so much longer than a month since I read this. I can't even remember what I thought, but I did really like Vivian because she just was like, I'm not putting up with your shit. So I did really like her, and her like friend group is really interesting, because one thing I really like about the Twisted Girls is they're all quite different, but in this book even more so, they're very different. I think with Vivian being like the kind of more, I want to say straight-laced but not really, person. I mean, she's got her own company. She's kind of stepping aside from like her parents thing, even though she's like been sort of not really born into money, but kind of like her family has money. She's like, I'm not going to rely on their money, I want to make my own money. So I really respect that. And then you've got Isabella, who is working in bars and she wants to be a writer, but like is it erotic thriller writer? I can't remember. And then you've got Sloane, who is just like the busiest boss bitch ever. Very much just like men are enjoyment and nothing more, which I love her for that, because like men. But yeah, so I think the girls are very different. So I'm looking forward to each of their individual stories in different ways. Obviously, I read King of Pride, which is Isabella's story. I loved Kai with a burning passion. This was a 4.5. The one thing that I was like, that I really took away from both these books, Kai is mentioned in this book, okay? He's friends with Dante. So in this book, especially in the scenes where you see Kai interacting with Vivian, he seems a lot more easygoing, kind of cheeky, like a bit of a jokester. And I don't know if it's just that's how it comes off in Dante's point of view when he's seeing Vivian talking to Kai, because he doesn't like it, because he gets jealous, because a man cannot, he just kind of manage his feelings. Men never can. So I don't know if it's just that, and the fact he was like warning Vivian away from Kai. Again, I don't know if that was just because he was jealous, or if he's like insinuating that Kai does like to sleep around, but that is not the Kai we met in King of Pride. Okay, the Kai we met in King of Pride likes to go home and read. And if he wants to physically do something while reading, he just translates whatever he's reading into Latin. He is the sweetest of beans, you know, like he's so soft. And I just feel, I feel like the one kind of criticism I have, King of Wrath, if the main guy is Dante, he is stoic but soft for his woman, and the other man who is in the background, who's not actually going to be getting with any of the, like, with the main characters, is the cheeky, fun one. Main man, stoic, but really soft for his woman. And the other man, who is not going to be getting with the woman, is the funny, cheeky one. Because who Kai was in this, Dante was in this. And I that's why I was like, I noticed in the Twisted series, all of the men, once they've had their story and they're seen in the in the next stories, they're much more chilled and a bit more jokey, and like you see a bit more personality besides the stoic, gruff, I'm a man, I have no feelings and I hate everything. You know? But Kai get to have that moment with the woman. So yeah, anyway, loved Kai. Yeah, Kai's basically my dream man. He is the perfect gentleman until he's in the bedroom, in which case he just knows exactly what to say. So I rated this 4.5 stars. I definitely enjoyed the story more. I think a lot of people prefer King of Wrath, but King of Pride just really hit. Okay, it just was. It's just Kai. Yeah. Okay, the next one. I knew this was a love it or hate it kind of book. I just didn't think it was going to be a hate it. I really didn't. I rated this 2.5 stars, and to be honest, the half was just because I finished it. There are I think I actually have notes written on my phone of talking points, but I remember them off by heart. The writing wasn't bad, and I'm going to put it like that. It wasn't bad writing. It was decent, it was easy to digest, easy to move forward with the story. It was the characters that was the whole issue. I did manage to read it because I just wanted to know if I was right about what was going to happen, and I was. This book is written about characters in STEM, characters in the science field. The main character, this one, whose name I can't remember, Olive, she is doing her PhD. I think she's like 26 years old. And then Adam has his PhD. He is a professor. I think he's 32 or 34. And her best friend, whose name I've also forgotten, and it's not going to be on the back, so I don't know, and I don't care to look through it. Her best friend is also probably about 26, going for a PhD. Why is her friend telling her to kiss her fake boyfriend because he did something? And she's like, oh my god, that was impressive, you should go kiss your boyfriend. Who does that? Okay, I'm turning 26 in literally 2 months. And my friends wouldn't dare say anything like that. My friends wouldn't have dared to say anything like that when I was 21. My friends wouldn't have dared to say anything like that when I was 17. You don't tell your friend, oh, you should go and kiss your boyfriend because he did this like really cool, like awesome thing. No. It was really awkward. Why would you do that? That it was so childish. I mean, the whole prompt of why this whole thing was childish, it was childish. If she wanted her friend to date the guy that she'd kind of been dating but wasn't bothered about, she should have said, look, yeah, we went on a couple dates, it didn't hit, I'm really not bothered, I have no romantic feelings, if you like him, go for it, I'm happy, I'm single and happy and okay with that, you go, be free, live the romantic dreams that you want. Don't say, yeah, I'm dating someone, and then give the most awkward, awful kiss to some random dude that you are actively saying is like the worst person ever to work with, and everyone hates him and is scared of him. It's ridiculous. And then the whole sun cream thing, I actually wanted to peel my skin off because why? Just why? The whole part of that scene was a big question mark. And the scene was really short. It was one chapter of this like thing that I'd been like, what was it? They went on like a picnic thing. It's like a department at the university, and it's mentioned very slowly. The sun cream debacle takes up the majority of the chapter, and then it just goes on to the next scene. And I'm like, well, you've been mentioning this a few times now, so you'd expect it to be like a bigger scene that went on a bit longer or went on a couple of chapters. I just found it, the whole thing, so childish, and I could read it, and it wasn't not enjoyable. It's just there were so many things I hated about it. And I'm not gonna lie, the sex scenes were really kind of awkward, because I just found he was like about to bust. Like every 5 seconds he was about to bust. I'm like, my dude, if you're as hot as everyone says you are getting more pussy than that. So I just, it was so unrealistic. I hated so many things. I was cringing the whole time. But the last chapter, like the epilogue last chapter thing, it was decent. I didn't mind it. But again, it's just, he wasn't it during sex. I mean, I get it, good for him, he liked to please, but it's the fact he was gonna bust every 5 seconds. I'm like, who are you a 16-year-old boy getting it for the first time? Like, grow up. Anyway, I'm over the Love Hypothesis rant. The next one I read was Good Girl Complex. This one I rated 4 stars. This I had tried to read while I was in the middle of reading the ACOTAR series, and I had to DNF it because I was just like, it was too different. Okay, Sarah J Maas's writing is up here. Okay, and this was, it was down here. But it is decent writing. I found it easy to read and get into once I had gotten past the initial chapter of him saying he looked menacing. I had to really, it got me the first time and I had to put the book down. Okay, him saying he painted a menacing picture. I was like, my dude. Yeah, the second time, because I was aware it was going to happen, blocked it out. I pretended it didn't happen so I could continue. And after that, we were fine. It was plain sailing, smooth sailing, and we were all good. There is one scene that just reminded me of the I'm taking the dog, dumbass, from Legally Blonde, because she literally took the dog, and I found that hilarious. And that is the only thing I wrote on my notes of why I like the book, was I'm taking the dog, dumbass. It felt very after, and I don't know what came out first. I think after came out first. This is 2022. After came out first. I was reading this and I saw the scene with the friends when she found out, except that was in a bar and not on the beach. It was so, like the one friend who's like friends with him but doesn't like her, Heidi. I just felt it was very after, but it wasn't a fanfic, unless technically it's a fanfic of the After movie / book. So it's a fanfic of a fanfic in a way, but at least he's not Hardin, so really a lot better. It was after, but way better, basically, and I really enjoyed it. I gave it 4 stars. The smut was decent. I liked the smut, and I really liked Mackenzie, and I thought, because she had a bit of a complicated relationship with her family, how that ended up transpiring, I thought was really good, and I was very proud of Mackenzie. I enjoyed. Okay, next is a very exciting 4 books. Okay, if you watched my TBR, you know what this is, because there was no other set of 4 books on my TBR. I read the Chestnut Springs series, and I fell in love with cowboy romances. Okay, they are all 5 stars, I'm pretty sure. Let me double check. 5, 5, 5. 5. Oh, hang on. I'm thinking there's 5 books. There's 4 books, but I got myself confused thinking 5 stars. All of these books were 5 stars. I am so looking forward to Oprah's coming out next month. The fact I have to wait like over a month. And then I think there's a book 6, and is it about the dad? Because I love that. Anyway, so I read Flawless, and I was like, oh my god, he is perfect. I was like, Rhett is my dream man, because he does get very like, he's just like such a sweet, soft boy. Man, he's a man. Okay, I'm gonna just put it out there. All of these male main characters, they are men. Men. They are not boys. They are men. And I don't just mean that, because 3 of them are in their 30s, like mid to late 30s. Okay, Theo, he's a little baby, okay, but he's a man. Anyway, I need to compose. Yeah, I read book 1 and I was like, I don't think I can find a man more perfect. And then Cade. Book 2, I was like, book 2 is my favourite. Book 2 is my favourite. There is nothing that's going to beat this, okay? I just, this. And then book 3, this man. Jasper is just Jasper. Book 2 was my favourite though. But then we read Reckless and we met Theo. And Theo is my perfect man. Theo and this story, this book was my favourite. My favourite so far, I'm going to say so far. Because we've got 2 more, I believe. I think it's 2. Definitely 1 more. But I think it's 2 more left of this series. When I tell you that the fact that Theo is not real and is not my husband hurts. I mean it. It's just not fair. It's just really not fair. But anyway, I read all 4. I will give you individual thoughts. So, Flawless. I thought Rhett and Summer were perfect for each other, and I thought Summer's dad was kind of iconic. In that, you'll know what I mean and when. It's towards the end. He had a moment of being kind of iconic, okay? And I loved, because like at the beginning there's like texts, in every book beginning of the chapter there's like text between whichever characters. And I loved the text between Summer and her dad. I thought they were hilarious. They just seemed to have like a really good relationship, which I'm sorry, Winter, but you know. Heartless, I put Daddy Cade and then 3 love hearts. Because he is a dad, so he is quite literally Daddy Cade, but he's also Daddy Cade, you know. I thought Luke was quite possibly the most adorable child written in a book ever. And the relationship that developed between him and Willa becoming a proper mum figure for Luke, and just the mother figure he really deserved, because Luke is the sweetest kid, okay? I loved it. And she just absolutely fell for little Luke, because again, he was adorable, how could you not? For Powerless, all I've put is Jasper is baby with an IE, because he is. Like, man bought her a Volvo because it's the safest car. Like, I don't want a man to buy me a sports car. I want a man to buy me a car because it's safe. Because he wants me to get home. Because he wants me to be with him forever. He doesn't want me to get in a car crash that's going to kill me. He's like, no, I want my woman to come home safe. I want my woman safe. That is the man Jasper is, and that is why I love him. And that is why he's baby with an IE. And then for Reckless, I just put, I love Theo, I wanted Theo. Because I do. And I need to put this down because this is hitting the sand. I actually really liked Winter. Book 1, obviously, she's just she's clearly a bitch. And then in book 2, when you get a little snippet of her, there's a little old man going past my front window. He's really taking his time, bless him. He's crazy past. I was like, there's something going on here. There's clearly some growth that's happened. There's some more going on behind the scenes in her character. I want to see what's going on. And then in this, because obviously you have her point of view, you can really see what actually was going on from her point of view for all those years with Summer. And you just feel really bad for her, honestly. Like, Winter just really deserved better as a kid and as a teenager and as an adult, and she didn't get it. But Theo provided better, and that is why we love him. That, and as a man, he just really like stepped up to the plate. He really did. I was heartbroken for him at first in this book. I was feeling so much pain for him because I could not imagine how he could have felt. Because I did a whole reading vlog on these books. I'm pretty sure it's spoiler free. It'll be going up after this video, because I still need to edit it. But yeah, because it's a pregnancy trope, it didn't go the way I thought it would, like how I've read other pregnancy tropes. And I just felt so bad for him. I really was quite emotional because I was physically hurting in my chest on behalf of him. It was tough. Okay, next I read Black Ties, White Lies, or Black Ties and White Lies. That one I rated 4.5 stars. And all I've written is Beck. Just Beck. Okay. I think I have a lot of men that are my perfect men, and they're all very different types of men. But I don't really have a type. I just have a type of how I like to be treated. And that type is Beck and Theo, basically. Beck was questionable, but he is that man who is like, I am obsessed with my woman in not an entirely healthy way, but not necessarily an unhealthy way. You know, he knew what he wanted, and he went through slightly weird means to get there, but not really the worst of all you know, fictional characters, Zaid Meadows being one of them. He wasn't quite that bad, and I've yet to read Haunting Adeline. I will. He wasn't quite there. He was just like, I know what I want, and I want this woman, and I will have this woman. She will love me because I'm going to treat her well. But I'm kind of going to be like, let's get married, or let's get engaged, because I need a better... I need what was it? Oh, I need my investors to see that I am put together and I've settled down and I'm sensible and reliable. Which, fair enough. But he was like, so will you be my fiance? Just, you know, fake fiance, like, it'll last a year, it'll be fine. And then like the whole time he's just like, yeah, I love you. Well, he's not literally like that. But he's like the whole time he's like, yeah, this is real. He doesn't actually say it. The one thing that is annoying is she is like, oh, but it's not real. Like, at the end of this year, like, it's gonna be finished. And the whole time he's like, this is real to me. Like, babe, he's spelling it out for you, okay? Just open your eyes, okay? It's right there. He is spelling it out, bold letters. Yeah, but I really enjoyed it, so... I need a billionaire, like, I love a rich man. Okay, and then I recently bought Bad Girl Reputation, so I read it straight away because I'd read Good Girl Complex. I rated this one, I only rated this one 3 stars. I did not enjoy this one as much. I like Evan, don't get me wrong, but Cooper was the way better brother. This guy, I think my problem with this is I really didn't know it was going to be Guinevere who was the love interest. I really thought that was going to be a bad, like, based on book 1, that was going to be a bad relationship from his past and he was going to meet someone new. I really didn't think it was going to be a second chance romance because I didn't know anything going into this book. It's just based off of Good Girl Complex. From what we hear of Genevieve and like all of that, I was like, it sounds like a really bad toxic relationship. I think that's going to be left in the past. But it came back. And the problem with this, I found, was you don't know much about Genevieve before going into this book. You don't know much aside from the fact that she was a party girl and she ran off. And then you get into this book and it kicks off as it's her mother's funeral, which it says on the blurb, so it's not a spoiler. And she's like, oh, I've reformed in this past year, but you don't actually like see it. The whole book, I found, is her saying, but I've changed for the better, and then doubting it, and him saying, yeah, I've changed for the better, but again, you don't actually really see it. It's just suddenly they're doing things more sensibly. They're just making better decisions. I don't know, I didn't think they were good for each other. It seemed more it seemed more like they were just an obsession or like an addiction of the other person, rather than an actual, real, solid foundation for a relationship. And yeah, I feel like they told us they changed. And it was kind of there in the actions, but it just was so quick how everything went on that I really was just like, I just didn't feel believable to me. I think that's how I felt. But let me know if you've read this, let me know what you thought, because I don't know. Okay, next I read Behind the Net, and I rated this 4 stars. All I've written for this in my little notebook is him being obsessed with her, but respectfully. It was great. The whole, like, she's walking into his apartment, she's just like to be his assistant, and she's like, hi, yeah, how can I help? Well, and he's just like, she's standing in my apartment and I can't breathe. I love that. And it was, there were so many moments in his point of view that I thought was just so cute. He was just in constant freak out mode around her because he's like, I don't know how my heart is meant to function when she is in the room with me. And like the whole time it's like my brain just turns off if she's near. It's just like I just turn into a monkey brain man and I don't know how to function. And like the whole time she's like, why is he so grumpy? And it's just him not knowing how to function around her because he loves her and had a huge crush on her in high school. And he's just like, but she's so perfect and she's so pretty. So basically I loved him. I thought it was so funny and it was really good. I really enjoyed it. So that one I rated 4 stars. And then finally, the book I actually finished last night because I was like, I need to finish one more book to make this 12 for this month. And I was like, it has to be finished yesterday, so the 31st. I'm filming this on the 1st. It'll probably go up on the 2nd. But anyway, I read The Nanny. Again, a book I only bought this month. Well, this like recently. Not this month because it's the 1st, but last month. As of today, I have rated this 4 stars. I am unsure if it's 4 or 4.5, so I will let you know on screen if I've made my mind up by tomorrow what the rating is. First of all, this book was a joy, a pleasure to read because it just has ultimate flop. I would be sat, it would just be on my leg and it would just stay open and I would just sit and read hands free. I love when a book does that and I don't have to crack the spine. It was great. So, bonus points for that. 5 star on floppability alone. Yeah, for anyone not sure what this book is, if you've not heard of it, she had an OnlyFans account. And then she like quit and she was working at a children's hospital and because of funding she gets let go. And she's looking for a new job. He is a single dad, he's a chef, and he needs a nanny for his 9-year-old. And he has basically put out an advert for a nanny, a live-in nanny. And she sees it and she's like, I'm going to lose my apartment if I don't get a job. And oh, hang on a minute, I don't need an apartment. Here's a job where I could live in. And I like working with kids. I already have experience working with kids. So she puts in her resume and he basically is like, please, for the love of God, you are the most qualified person to work with my child because she's worked with kids before. And all the other nannies just, they run off because my kid hates them. Please work for me. And she's like, yeah, cool, chill. And so basically, he was a fan of her OnlyFans. He was a subscriber and they had some alone solo sessions, but she never saw him. So she doesn't know what he looks like and she wore a mask. So he doesn't actually know fully what she looks like. But the fact of the matter is they hate each other's voices. How they didn't realise, I don't know. Okay, it's only been a year in between their last encounter to him now hiring her. And basically she realises first who he is and he doesn't know who she is. And she's like, how do I hide this from the man who I'm desperate to fuck? And he is just desperate to fuck also. Yeah, I really liked it. There was a lot of wholesome moments between Cassie and Sophie, who's the kid. Sophie was a very fun kid because she was just so like sassy. She was just like, I don't know, she was just iconic. She was obsessed with Encanto. She loved to just play her Switch and she was socially awkward and shy and didn't really know how to make friends. And I was like, you know what, you're me as a kid. There was probably a movie I was obsessed with and I was always on my Game Boy playing Pokemon under my covers at night when I was meant to be asleep. And I loved her. I thought she was really cute. And the way that Cassie gets on with her is really nice. So yeah, I rated it 4 stars. I thoroughly enjoyed it and I suggest, and it's got decent smart, I have to say. Very decent smart. I highly recommend. Okay, so there was 2 books on my TBR for August that I didn't read and I will not be rolling them over into September's TBR, and that is Set on You and X's and O's. I don't know why, I don't think I'm feeling reading them yet. I think there's a 3rd one coming out probably next year because this one was 2022, this one was this year, January, so I think there's another one coming out next year maybe. As far as I'm aware, there's only going to be 3 in the series, I'm not sure. I might save them and wait for that one to come out, I don't know, or I might just wait and see when I'm in like a kind of fluffy romance mood. I don't know, it's just at the moment I'm not feeling them, but I do want to read them at some point, so I will be putting them back on my regular shelf and I'll be reading them another time. I just don't know when yet. Okay, and then as for books I want to read in September, I don't actually have a TBR this month. Only because I'm a mood reader and I don't really know what I want to read. I'm feeling a bit of a struggle at the moment, knowing what I want to read. I'm not in a slump, but I am. I think there's so many books I want to read that I'm overwhelmed. And I want to get through books that I already have, rather than then like reading, like, I have so many books that I have the first one, so then I'll want to buy the rest of the series. But I also have other books that I'm like, I've got the full series, or they're just standalones, and I want to try and get through some of those. So I'm going to see what happens. I would quite like to finish the Brutal Birthright series, but I'm going to ask for the Kingmaker series, which is about kids. I'm going to ask for that for my birthday probably. So I don't know if I want to read closer to the time that I'll get those, because it's not my birthday for another like 2.5 months. So I don't know, we'll see. I think I'm just going to leave it open to whatever I feel like. I don't think I'm probably going to beat my record of 12 books next month though. I just don't think it's likely. Last month I had 2 like long weekends off basically. I only have one, and I only took holidays because I got a hospital appointment and I was going to be at work, and it was going to be stressful because it's like a hospital that's not very nearby, and it's just, yeah. So I only have a long weekend because of that this month. So we will see. My hospital appointment is on the Wednesday, which is like the last day of my long weekend. So I'm going to want to read like a lot just to kind of take my mind off it, because I'm quite nervous for the appointment, even though I know it's not like I'm having anything invasive done, you know. So I'm going to leave the TBR open for whatever it is that I decide I want to read. So let me know what you thought, first of all, of Bad Game Reputation. I really want to know. I want to chat to people about that, because I don't know what my thoughts are fully, but I felt a bit iffy about them as a couple. And don't hate me for hating The Love Hypothesis, please. And let me know also what you're wanting to read next month. I need inspiration because I just don't know. Yeah, but aside from that, I will see you in the next video, which I have already filmed. It'll be the Chestnut Springs reading vlog, so look forward to that. And I will see you next time. Bye!